My name is Eric Mack, and I'm from Capitol Heights, Maryland, and we're in my studio in the South Bronx. A lot of the work has a relationship with very familiar objects. That familiarity is a basis that I kind of began to question them using paint and surface manipulations, adding dye to something that's already been industrially colored, and manipulating the sort of basis of aesthetics that are given. There is the dexterity of fabric that I'm interested in. Its ability to stretch, its ability to be kind of concrete as well. It's gestural. It's easily tied to a kind of expression of the hand. An author. I mean, I'm interested in the objects that are kind of perceptively changed by those memories. I'm interested in the viewer's memory. I'm less interested in my own, because I think that these things are end up triggering a lot of different points of reference. But my point was the possibility of its transformation. It really is to bring in literalisms of the outside world, the kind of inherent emotional identity of those things that I've made that use flagpoles, for instance. And thinking formally, the relationship between a flagpole is to hold up a flag. The flag is a textile, but the meaning of those things, the meaning is so weighted and so politically engaged. It's nationalistic, it's political, polemical. So recoding that and extending it into the space of painting, which again for me is a space of questioning surface. Ends up being me trying to figure out how inherent are these frameworks, and if we're departing from frameworks of painting, where do we go? Do we extend into politics? And even beyond that, maybe we could have both. We do have both. That's in fact the world we live in, and I'm really interested in that. I think a part of the kind of lineage in the work does have to do with the history of abstraction, not just abstract expressionism, but this kind of relationship to kind of everyday fragments. There's been a system that I've worked with. The first system was really thinking about staining canvas as a way of integrating kind of everyday happenstance. I dripped coffee on this shirt, and how do I play that off? How can that be okay if John Galliano is throwing a bucket of paint on tulle and allowing that to be able to walk down the runway. But somehow what I did was really about my imperfection and humanness, so that's my trace. So thinking about that, really getting into the color field, and Kenneth Nolan, Sam Gilliam, Morris Lewis, of course, Helen Frankenthaler. All of these people that really did away with a kind of substrate in between, so we're not thinking about the start of a painting being a blank canvas, but the start of a painting being the truth of the canvas, the truth of the weave, the truth of the almost acknowledging it as textile. I feel that relationship to gesture ends up transforming the material, transforming the textile into something quite concrete. That you can't peel off a layer of the top, in order to separate those things. But actually, what you see is true absorption into a system, into the weave of the canvas, into a textile. The moving blankets have come and that they have their own identity in relationship to process of art making. They have a identity of protection, or they mean protection, or the protecting of other objects, be it like furniture or painting itself. So I kind of like acknowledge the moving blanket itself as like as an art object, as like a kind of coming from like the kind of legacy of like a patchwork quilt to this like kind of industrialized quilted object with a border around it. I also loved the relationship, I guess, to swing the pendulum all the way back over to fashion, like the fact that people were wearing quilted jackets. It felt like the possibilities were all already there for it to be this like soft painting object.